Welcome back, explorers, to the Lucky Die. Previously, Lathian lays down the ground rules, Rhal looks out for his stalking buddies, Squash flexes his power over fire, and Zaltanna puts aside niceties for the wild. Within the wine cellar, the team investigate and find a hidden area that leads deep within the roots of the elven seat of power. After a minor incident involving fire, the team make their way inside the elaborate tomb's defences to the first king's resting place. Why was Isiltar buried with an acorn? Do unicorns still roam Discora? And what should they expect within the sanctity of Cicero? I guess we're about to find out. Welcome back to the Lucky Die.
You find yourself in essentially a meadow that seems to go on and on. It's very warm, it's like the sun is beating down on you, but there's no sun that you can see in the sky. There's a very gentle breeze. Ahead of you there is a mausoleum. It's constructed of marble with delicate gold filigree all over it. There is also 5 marble pillars standing kind of directly in front of this mausoleum. As you look behind you, you can see the frame to the door that you just passed through, and through the door you can see the hallway that you just have come from. But looking around it, you just see more meadow. What do the 4 of you want to do?
I'm looking at the mausoleum thing, because it sounds cool.
There's like a couple of steps up to the mausoleum. There's not a lot, just a couple. And in front of you there is a door.
What?
Has a handle. Yeah, door to the mausoleum.
Oh. Okay, great. Is there another door behind that? Or is this the only door you were talking about?
This is there's the door to the mausoleum, and behind you is the door that you came through.
Okay. So past the mausoleum is just infinite meadow?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any inscriptions, engravings?
Yeah, as you kind of approach the door, you walk past the pillars and you basically make your way to the door, go up a few steps. You can see the door itself has 10 small circles that have been kind of carved into it that may be an inch deep, and yeah, that's it really. There's nothing else carved into this kind of mausoleum at all.
Would one say that it looks like these indentations have a requirement of filling? Perhaps insertion?
Yeah. There's a very strong possibility that is the case.
All right, Laughin's going to go check out the pillars first.
Okay, as you turn to look at the pillars, you can see that, they're pretty tall. They're 10 feet tall. So it's not, above arm's reach. And as you spend some time looking at each of them and you kind of give a good glance over, you notice that very subtly hidden, it's very difficult to see, but you have a pretty good, you're going to find it basically. You can see that across the 5 pillars, there are 5 circles, very thin, very, very thin, carved circles into each of these pillars. There are 10 in total. So the same amount of small circles carved into these, or at least etched or circled into them, they would fit exactly into those indents in the door to the mausoleum.
So that would be 5 of the 10 needed.
Yes.
Or did I mishear on how many was on the door?
Should I give you the extra one? There are 10 indents on the door, and from where you are, you can only see 5 little circles, one on each of the pillars.
What do they look like?
They're just round. They are also constructed of the same kind of marble that the rest of the pillar is constructed from.
Just like little discs?
Yep.
Hey, Squash?
Yeah.
Does this look like a magical trap of any sort of variety to you?
Squash is
Oh,
gonna...
your detect magic's gone.
Oh, yeah. So Squash is
It's
eyeing
gone.
it down if he knows anything that seems like it, but of course Squash doesn't have Arcana. So Squash is gonna cast another detect magic.
Well, you don't have to. You just, practical knowledge.
No, I'm being mad at V here because V is completely right. And she's grinding through my level 1 spell slots.
You don't have to use this. You can, I think, cast detect magic as a ritual.
It is a
That
ritual.
would take 10 minutes.
Yes.
Would we be okay with that?
We're not in a rush.
Oh, yeah. We're actually in a dumb, weird plane of time, so... All right, yeah. Squash is going to cast Detect Magic as a ritual. Takes 10 minutes. I'm assuming that this is a very weird thing where Squash just kind of sits down, head down, and she's just concentrating. He doesn't really know what ritual magic is. He doesn't know exactly how to do it. He's just like, I know this is doable.
Well, you do have your book of like how to magic. You do have that, and that talks you through some of the processes of doing rituals. So it's not unfamiliar to you, just untested.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can make your way through it, no problem.
So it's definitely Squash like cooking by the book. Like he's got a book on his right hand side and he glances at it every now and then, just make sure he's doing it right.
Takes you a little bit longer than 10 minutes, but yes.
Since it's going to take 10 minutes, then Lafian's going to start trying to search around to see if he can find the other 5.
Okay, where would you like to look?
He's going to look to see if there's any patterns in the fields, if there's any, like maybe there's a flower that looks out of place, or maybe there's just flowers that are form the shape of an arrow that says "over here, idiot." This way, stupid.
Not exactly written in the flowers of the meadow, this way, dumbass. Like, no, that's not written. Looking around, there doesn't appear to be any real order to the flowers. It is just natural chaos. It's just natural pretty much as it is. As you kind of like look around the field, there's nothing that screams out to you. The flowers seem perfectly normal. There don't appear to be any like massive rocks or rocks that could be in the shape of like what you're looking for, even taunting you by the shape of a triangle or anything. There's nothing like that on the ground. It doesn't appear to be anything around, at least not in the grass.
I need to think on that for a second. Go to the others.
Rhal, Zaltanna, do you have any other ideas on where you might want to look to help him find the discs?
He would have pointed it out to everybody since he was calling Squash over.
Rhal wants to look at whatever like wildlife might be here. If there's any living things around other than plants.
Yeah, sure. Take a nature check for me. I'll see if I can think of anything else to give you.
Oh, my specialty. 12.
There's a couple of like small creatures like ladybugs and like aphids, and there's a couple of like flies and like dragonflies and stuff. There's lots of little creatures that are here, and some of them are flying around, and they fly kind of all over, not ever in your face, because these are Cicero bugs and not bellum bugs. They will not attack your face for no reason. Fucking moths. No, these are all pretty nice things. You see butterflies and such like. They just tend to hang out in the grass, or they fly upwards into the air.
Okay. All right. I'll just play with a butterfly instead.
Okay. That's so cute. Zaltanna, is there any ideas that you could think to look for anything?
I rolled a 20 animal handling. I am friends with this butterfly.
I do not have any thoughts.
Okay.
The head empty, just drink.
Okay.
Was there anything on the other side of the mausoleum? Like on the back?
Yeah. You can walk around it. On the back of the mausoleum, very easy to read, is an inscription.
Oh. The seal tower was here.
Graffiti. it's not written, it's not like perfectly carved. This isn't carved by someone who deliberately like, hey, in the construction of there will be like a saying on the back of this. Like, no. This was like rushed into it. Yeah, a bit like graffiti. And it says, the touch not the discs, for they do harm.
Oh.
Where's Rhal?
Laughing goes back around to the other side. Okay, don't touch the discs.
I found a bunch of.
I found some coins.
They were bad coins.
V, random weird question. Would you say that the slots are roughly the size of a gold coin? Like if I take out some gold, can I just like...
Gold coins aren't usually like an inch thick.
Oh, these are like
that would
big
be some
fucking...
janky ass gold coins. Yeah, they would be like fucking really heavy and expensive. No, they're definitely too deep for putting gold coins in there.
Okay.
They're probably also a little bit bigger in diameter.
So I can't
like
buy off the mausoleum.
Funnily enough, no, rich boy, you can't just pay your way through this. Daddy's gold won't solve your problems, Daphne.
No, listen, the gold that I have on my person is gold I made from betting.
With other people's money on other people. Yeah, gotcha,
Yes.
Gotcha.
It's called investing.
Squash.
Yes.
You detect, I think it's abjuration. Just double check what this is based on, at least.
I have concerns.
My apologies. Evocation. You detect evocation on... So detect magic allows you to feel the magical presence within 30 feet, but you can only see the aura of the things in line of sight, correct? All right. So the line of sight you have on each of these pillars, you can see... on like in one place on each of the pillars, like the uprights, you can see that there is exactly where those kind of circles have been carved, and you now suspect being much closer, you can actually just reach out and pull these like discs out of it. There is evocation magic, but you can also sense 5 more pieces of evocation magic, like just little tiny blips on your radar. You can just feel it kind of 10 feet up and on top of each one of these pillars.
Okay. Squash is going to relay that in. Sorry, excuse me. Let me sit up straight. Squash is going to relay that information to Lafayette. Is there evocation? Did you say there were discs in the pillar?
Yeah, being much closer to it, like the pair of you, like having spent a bit more time around it, you could see that you could probably very easily reach out these circles that are carved into it. You basically just see the edge. You think you could just grab them and pull them out.
But they'll explode.
Yeah, there is evocation magic on it.
100%.
All right. My assumption is that this test is not to how much brunt you can take. So there probably is a solution to this, right?
Well, I mean, assumably, I don't know what kind of spell is on the items in question. I mean, if it's just like another ball of fire sort of thing, then we can just grab them from a distance. If it's something worse, though, that's a whole nother story.
Good point.
I can only go 30 feet away, so...
Let me see. I do not have a piece of twine or anything like that on me. I only have this big, bulky ropes now.
Oh, I see where you're going. That's a good idea. Actually, I do have an idea.
Before you do that, Squash is going to reach his hand into Demi's bag of holding and think twine.
No, that's a good idea.
I like this bag. Yeah. All right. So Squash brings out twine. I like this bag of holding. It's like a menage of knickknacks. I can just guess that.
Oh, wait, Squash, I have threads. And he pulls out a book.
Uh-oh. I'm looking for something in the twine thread variety. Uh-oh. What the fuck is she doing with this?
Debbie, what are you doing?
Yeah. Okay. So we could possibly just make a little loop on this and try to pull it out from a good distance.
Worth a shot. better than me using my side points.
All right. Squash is gonna fashion some kind of tiny little loop.
Yep.
And he's gonna try to fasten it to the disc without disturbing the disc. Wow.
Yeah, like there's kind of like a little groove. I guess like, a groove would probably like, you could just like kind of little groove around the disc and you could try and wrap the twine around it without touching it.
Like lasso it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna try to get everybody else to step back while Squash does whatever dumb thing this is.
I'm by the door we came in.
Okay, yeah, smart move.
And yeah.
I already took one hit.
Do you want me to roll something?
Uh,
Let me rephrase that. If you're going to ask me to roll something, I would assume it's sleight of hand.
yeah, sleight of hand. Let's see what the DC is. I have DCs for just the awfulness that this is. Okay.
It's a pretty good roll.
What did you get?
27.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. All right.
No problem. You wrap it around and the coin just falls out and bounces to the floor. And you see that there is a letter carved on the other side of the disc.
Oh. Hold on, let me grab paper. Hold on.
The elven equivalent of A.
Yeah, all right. I need... Where the fuck's my notepad? Actually, what am I doing? I just do it in a fucking computer.
You haven't.
But pieces of paper are so handy and nice to use when you're doing puzzles.
Yeah, it's something about paper and pen when you're doing puzzles.
All right. So it has the letter A, you said, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, so the disc's just on the ground now?
Yep.
Is the magic coming from the disc or
with
the
your
recession?
magical eye? Yeah, with your magical eyes, you can still see that it has the magic up on it.
All right, Laffian. I think there's only one choice right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to touch
No.
the disc.
No, you don't need to touch it then. Let's...
Oh. I'm sorry, were there two options?
There's three. I can try mystic handing it and seeing if that'll work.
Okay.
And my backup is summoning a fire elemental.
Okay.
So let me try the mystic hand first. Staying the maximum 30 feet away and just mystic hand just goes down like a fucking claw machine. Just goes down, grabs, picks up.
And then drops because it's one of the grabber machines and they always drop your fucking shit.
Shit, this coin is heavier than 10 pounds.
No, surprisingly not. Your Mystic Hand manages to pick up this coin very easily.
Okay, all right. So he keeps it at the maximum distance and just moves it over to the top step of the mausoleum, puts it down. Okay. So maybe we don't need to use the twine then.
Okay.
Good idea, but for the sake of time. Goes to the next one.
Yep, you can very easily just remove all four of them that are remaining that are on the kind of up. Yeah, well, you don't know where the others are. You haven't seen where they are. You just know that they're at the top of the pillar according to Squash and his magical senses.
Yeah.
The extra letters that you gain are A, I, R.
Okay.
So 2 A's, 2 I's, and an R.
Correct.
R as in R.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, I have such a hard time hearing R.
Well, yeah, it's real close to your
You said you got more of a sensation from the top of the pillars too?
Is that where he got the rest of the coins from, or?
No, Laffian took the coins out that you could see basically on the kind of uprights of the columns, the pillars. You felt the extra magical and still can feel them at the top, like
okay, yeah,
on the top of them.
Something more at the top of the pillars.
Okay. Rhal, you're the tallest one here besides me. Can you give me a boost up?
To the top of the pillar?
Yeah, I just need to be able to see up there. I don't know what the fuck I'm grabbing at.
Oh, I could grab it.
Well, no, we don't want you grab. I just need to see it and I can grab it with the hand. I just need to be able to see things.
Okay. I'll try. Rob is not very strong. Let him lift you.
I mean, Lafian's not that
Maybe-
heavy.
Maybe the stronger one. All right. Do you
I was going
8.
for height, but Zaltanna would also work, yes.
on an 8? You try and lift Lafian, but you can't do more than like lift him half a foot off the floor. Like
Okay.
it's just you can't.
All right, it was worth a try roll. Good effort.
I'm gonna lay down.
That's it. That's fine. Well, there's a nice field of flowers. Go relax.
There are butterflies. They start swarming towards you on your 20 animal handling check.
All right, Zaltanna, do you want to? Can you just?
Sure can. I will do a lift.
For the sake of strategic placement, let's say we're still trying to maintain that 30-foot distance. I'm like sitting on Zaltanna's shoulders or some shit. I don't know.
I
Like
am
standing on the
99%.
shoulders.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm 99% you sitting on her shoulders only makes you as tall as you are.
Probably.
I think 30 feet back, you wouldn't really see the top of them. Yeah, you might need to be a little closer.
Sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear you from a mile away.
Sorry, I had leaned over my microphone to do the thing on my computer because remember, I'm on a laptop. But anyway, I got a 10. So
That's all
Yeah.
you needed. Yeah, on a 10, you managed to boost him up. You take a lot of his weight and you just manage to do that powerlifting thing where you kind of grab his ankles and push him up just enough that he can just hold on to whatever is around him and get himself just kind of precariously up. You're not going to be able to hold him up there for particularly long, but you can at least see Lafian. And yes, on top of each of the pillars, you see a small disc just sitting on top. They happen to be in the middle of warding runes.
Warding runes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try to make sure that we're outside of that 20-foot radius.
Yeah, you are. I'm just going to say
And-
yes.
Just for the sake of Zaltanna's arms and not being a pain in the ass, he's just going to like quickly grab each of the coins and drop it to the ground first.
Yeah. To be fair, now you know where they are. You can just send your mystic hand up and just whoosh, swipe across each of the tops. Moving the coins don't seem to activate the wards of rooting, the runes of warding at all. It's just if you're foolish enough to climb up and put your hand up there. But yeah, they didn't. Yep, you managed to knock these 5 coins down pretty easily. And you gain 5 more letters. You get an R. You get a B. And a T. And an L. And an N for nightmare. You have 5 coins and 10. Sorry, you have 10 coins, 10 discs, and 10 letters. What do you want to do? The butterflies are loving the shit out of Rhal.
So we have 5 discs and we have 10 letters.
You have 10 discs, 10 letters,
10 discs?
and 10 indents. Yeah.
Jesus. Now there's 10 of them? It's getting out of control.
They're multiplying.
Is this a tomb? Rhal says from underneath all the butterflies.
It looks like a mausoleum. I'm actually kind of surprised there's literally nobody here. I was kind of expecting the first king.
First king of elves. Is this still elf stuff? We are in Cicero.
Yeah, the architecture is very, very elven. Just everything about it screams elven.
But it looks like Falsum.
Nope.
The outside
Okay.
did.
That was just outside. Okay.
Yeah, so the corridor that you found yourselves in, consider it like the highway across the heavens. Like, this is how you would access them. You are currently in a room of heaven.
Were there other doors in the hallway of heavens?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There were 3 on the left, 2 on the right, 1 straight ahead, which you would presumed to be the mirror room back in the real world, and a door behind you, which would lead to the foyer.
Yeah,
This
we
would be the-
can't die in the first
Meditation
room.
Okay. All right. I think I have an idea. I just don't know if it's just too simplistic and I'm being paranoid or what, but
You can only but try it and suffer the consequences.
hold on a second. Let me make sure.
And this is where I hope that I've given you the correct letters.
Yeah, I was trying to remember
I hate
them,
having
and that
to give
was a
letters out in the
mistake.
wrong order.
So there was an A, an R, an I, a B, a T, an N. What am I missing?
So there are 2 A's,
Two
2
R's.
I's, 2 R's, 1 B, 1 T, 1 L, 1 N.
Okay, I was missing only the L. Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to lay this out there. I think this, like, I think this is brain trial. Or
You could try.
like that perfectly spells it. And I don't know what else it would be.
Just Rhal. R-A-L. He's
But there's
the
an
answer.
H in there.
Nope. This is a brain. This is the brain spelling thing, but spelling is not a. It's not. It's the brain test, not the spelling test. Jesus Christ, I fucked that up. Well, like, we can try brain trial.
This is gonna hurt if it's wrong. I have a feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a good one.
So, you reach over, you pick up the coins?
I'm not picking them up.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I guess I'll slot them in.
Okay. Using the mystic hand, you place in the letters in order of brain trial, and you hear a click, and the door swings open.
Laffian hits a deck.
As a giant catapult appears, and no, it's yeah.
Don't worry, guys.
you
It's a
just-
catapult, not a.
trebuchet. No,
Trebuchet.
giant. Oh, what the hell is it? A giant
Ballista.
Thank you. Yeah. You're fine. You're fine. Before you, there is kind of a narrow corridor made of stone, and ahead of you, you see an iron door. And beyond that, because of where you are, you can, and because you all can see in the dark, you see what looks like a well-furnished room that has plenty of paintings on the wall. That's all that you can really see from here.
Okay, I'm a little surprised that worked, but also glad nothing blew up in our faces.
Yeah.
Let's go, I guess. Rhal, get up from your flowers.
Okay.
Tell the butterflies you'll be back later.
Rhal gets up and the butterflies fly off and Rhal waves at them.
They do not wave back. They
Well,
are but butterflies.
They are kind of always waving.
Okay. This corridor is very narrow, so it's a single file. Can I please get a running order?
Squash, you still have detect magic going, so go ahead.
I'm assuming so. Yep. So Squash will take the front and
I'll be in
proceed.
second.
Proceed to- I was just going to say that he's doing the stop every now and then to just see if he sees any magic, even though he doesn't sense it.
Look with your
Okay.
special eyes.
Yes. My
My
brand.
I'm gonna transfer my armor guy that my shield.
Yeah, your
to
shield.
be-
Yeah.
To Squash, to be in front of Squash,
Yeah.
so he has a little extra protection.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect.
And I will.
I think
be
the shield
second.
is. That is actually kind of a smarter idea. Having the shield, because Squash is small, could probably use that as cover. Like, that's. I think it's fine. AC, some cover, can hide behind it. All right. Then I'm guessing Laffian and Rhal. As you'll step through, and as the last of you clear the doorway, it closes slowly behind you. You can see there is a handle. You can't see any other indentations. As you look back, Squash, you still see the abjuration of like the lock spell, but this clearly you can get out of. Not a problem. It drops into total darkness now. There is nothing you can see except you'll have dark vision. As you slowly creep your way forward, Squash, using, just cover, using your natural skills as a thief, and your it heightened senses. You don't detect any extra magic for a little bit, and there don't appear to be any floor traps. As you make your way towards the iron gate itself, the gate is not trapped, either magically or mundanely. What you do see ahead of you is a circular room about 15 feet diameter. Not particularly big. You can see, and at least Zaltanna also, because you're pretty close to, behind Squash, you can see a room that has lots of pictures up on the wall. It has that kind of like fake rail about halfway up the wall, which is made of wood, and below it is just wood paneling. Above it is a dark red wall covered in pictures and drawings and artwork. There doesn't appear to be an extra door here. The ground is not nice and ornate like the rest of it that you can see. It is sand. And the sand looks, well raked over. It's very smooth. No one has trod here in a while. In the very center, you can see a canvas on top of an artist's
easel.
What'd you call it? Thank you. You find an easel with a canvas on it. You also see... Nope, that's it. That's literally it. Just check that there is literally nothing else. Nope, that's it. That's literally all that you see.
Anything on the canvas in the center?
It's completely blank, as if ready to be painted.
Are there any paints?
Nope.
And this room is just covered in paintings?
Yep. Some of them are exquisitely drawn, some of them not. Some of them are clearly beautiful oil paintings, and the scenes are completely varied. Now that all of you are much closer and not in the room, as you kind of look around a bit, you can see that there are pictures and portraits, there are people smiling, there are children, there are lovers holding hands, you can see crowns, you can see hoards of gold, you can see drawings and paintings of dragons, of what look like strange metal humanoids arrayed in an army. And what you notice particularly is that in the bottom corner of each, there are two people holding hands. One of them holding an ink pot and the other one holding a paintbrush.
And the floor is all sand.
Yep. This is all you can see from where you are.
Any magic from the sand?
Is it quicksand?
That's why I'm...
Quicksand, not magic.
Well, unless it's magically induced.
Yes, there is magic here. I need to look at the specific type of magic. Hang on. I hate this fucking schools and magic bullshit.
I'm gonna lay down. You have to paint me like one of your elf girls.
Oh, I already know this. As you look at this area, Squash, you can't see the magical aura itself. You can't see whatever the object is, but you do get pings of necromancy magic.
Okay, so there is traces of necromantic magic in here.
Oh, good. Maybe dead things are going to come out of the sand or something.
I hope not.
Nah, I did that already.
Okay.
I already can see Neil going to the let me roll my pass out button.
It's
Oh,
a
look, there it is.
19.
There it is. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
Squash is gonna move a little bit into the room and just kind of touch the sand with the sand.
As you open the gate, nothing happens. As you put your foot onto the sand, you kind of sink up to your waist.
Oh. That's not good.
So about 1.5 feet of sand. Kind of beneath your feet, you feel solid rock. Or big tiles of rock. You can't tell you're standing on the surface.
All right, Squash is gonna move further into the room, just wading through the sand.
Just wading through the sand, man. You can very easily make it to the easel in the center of the room.
Is it up on a platform or something, or?
Nope, it's also buried in the sand.
Oh.
All right.
It's still yeah, its
canvas
legs
isn't
clearly
submerged.
extended. So the canvas itself is definitely out of the sand. That little lip underneath to support it, definitely out of the sand. From where you are standing in that kind of very narrow corridor, it looks like a normal easel. It looks like the correct height. Except that Squash now knows it's 1.5 feet taller than it should be. When you are in this room, Squash, and you kind of glance around and look back towards your companions.
Mm-hmm.
Above the door, I used to, you would never be able to see it from where you were. Above the door, you see another picture, but this doesn't have those two people holding hands in the corner. This isn't well painted at all. There are no people in it. There's no artistry. There are just words. And the words say, friends and love oft go hand in hand. Revelations of both start by resting in the sand. And as the canvas might reveal an artist's soul, the words of the powerful upon the people do toll.
Okay. Laughing gets in the sand and goes up next to Squash.
Yeah. Just sink probably up to your knees, I think, probably. Foot and a half is about just below your knees.
Squash, you said there was magic things somewhere in this sand pit here?
Yeah, I can't seem to locate it per se, but I know it's in here. Let me try to focus in on it. And Squash is gonna stare around and kind of thicken the sand a little bit, see if he can find it.
Yeah. It takes a little finessing. You don't exactly have perfect control over this, and you definitely, when you can't see it, have any massive idea exactly where it is, but it does help you narrow it down. And as you go kind of digging through the sand, you find an artist paintbrush and an ink pot.
Oh.
Paint pot.
Squash is just gonna dig that out, and is that radiating necromantic energy?
Oh yeah. The ink pot for sure.
All right. Yeah.
The
Squash.
ink pot, the paint pot has nothing in it.
Squash is just gonna pick it up and the brush and bring it over to the easel and place it there, and then Squash just kind of points at the pot and just that thing is oozing necromantic aura.
I need to ask, are Rhal and Zaltanna in this room?
Rhal is, yeah. I imagine he's I was going to say he comes over in the sand, but I don't think he did just yet. So I think he's about to get in the sand at about this time.
This water's sanitary?
Because Rhal can just run on the sand to get over there, but I don't think he needs to get over there for anything right now.
Well, according to the thing that we read above the door, you probably need to get your ass in the pool.
Oh,
Get in the sandpit.
Rhal's scared of it because of the things you said about it, though.
Yeah, you can keep walking and running around on the surface. You can just do that because you have weird monk BS abilities. You never have to sink into the sand if you don't want to. You also don't have to enter this room if you don't want to.
Well, come in, the sand's fine.
Zaltanna, are you in room or are you staying in the corridor?
I think I went into the room.
Okay.
I don't see any reason why I wouldn't.
Sweet. Good. Everyone together. Much better. All right. You have a empty ink pot oozing necromantic magic, and you have a paintbrush and an empty canvas on an easel.
Okay. Rhal jumps into the sand and kind of doesn't leave the edge yet. Just kind of sits on the edge and has his feet in there.
Okay, fair.
Does something happen?
No. The room is just silently waiting.
All right. So the pot appears empty when I find it. So I am going to make an assumption that the pot does something if we stick the paintbrush in it, even though it feels empty.
Could try.
Yeah. So Squash basically just touches the bristles of the paintbrush and then dips it in and pulls it back up. Does it look like it's wet or something?
Nope.
All right. Touches the bristles.
Dry.
All right. And he puts down the brush. All right. I'm wrong.
If I had to make an assumption just based off the fact that it's necromantic in origin, it most likely involves blood. least based off of my crude understanding.
It's a good theory.
Now, I'm curious if it needs to be mine or if I can substitute. I have some vials of Demogorgon blood that I was planning on giving to Kythea, but, I mean, who knows? Maybe that would do the trick.
Oh, how romantic.
So you
I think
have
that's
touched it with your hand. You've touched okay, and it didn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I basically went by the assumption that these were not necromantic wards of garbage. Like, we're supposed to do things in here.
Rhal will go and pick it up, and I want to dip my finger in there and just, like, I think that's his first instinct to, like, try to figure anything magic out is to touch it more.
No, that's very well.
You're holding the ink pot and you paint pot, ink pot, and you put your finger in it, and it just feels dry. There's no ink in there. There's no paint in there. You're just holding this ink pot,
And then it bites your finger off.
Mimic ink pot.
Squash, are you still holding the paintbrush?
I don't know if I am. Maybe.
It's up to you.
Yeah, sure. I'm holding the paintbrush.
Very tiny amount of paint appears on the end.
Rhal, you're doing something because there's some paint rub appearing here.
Just a very tiny drop.
Well, if you look in the corner, though, it's got two people holding hands, and one's got the one and one has the other.
I put
So
as
that actually
many
makes
fingers as I can in it.
Roll,
Put your whole hand in there.
that's lewd.
My hand is stuck in it. All right. Friends and love oft go hand in hand. The revelation of both start by resting in the sand. Was the paintbrush and ink pot close to the painting?
Yeah, they were in the sand, not really close to it, but close.
Okay, I'm thinking about that second section. The revelation of both start by resting in the sand.
I think the two of you, whoever's holding both items, need to be within the sand. That's how I translate it, anyways.
I think you have to let yourself completely submerge for whatever the thing is going to happen happens, but I don't know if you need to be holding the paint pot and brush.
Well, I mean, it sounds like we then need to paint. Well, whoever needs to paint something, and then things will happen. And then that fourth part, I don't really know.
Laffian, you should paint something. Paint your feelings.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of red.
Um,
I'll paint something. Someone else is apparently going to need to hold the inkwell.
There's going to be a lot of red because they're painting with blood.
No, there's no blood in there, Rhal.
I thought that's what you said.
I'm insinuating there's going to be a lot of red because I have a lot of anger.
Zaltanna, I want to try it out, and I think you're the hardiest one of us if something goes wrong.
Okay, are you asking me if you can use my blood to paint? I don't understand.
No, I was
You
gonna,
paint.
and Squash approaches Zaltanna. I'm gonna ask you to lie down in the sand.
Oh,
Okay. Zaltanna will lie down in the sand.
sandbath.
V?
Oh, yeah, Zaltanna, like, your back is completely covered in sand. Like, the short cropped hair that you now have, also covered in sand.
She doesn't sink?
No. Well, like, a foot and a half, but yeah.
That would
Like-
completely submerge you in this case if you're lying flat.
I don't know, maybe a foot and a half? You don't know, we might be less than... I don't know
width?
feelings. I don't know. Yeah, Zaltanna, you're in the sand. There is sand all over you. Is that better? You happy now?
No, I was hoping for something to happen.
Yeah, they go covered in sand.
Okay.
Let me just
Squash
try
help.
painting something and see what happens.
Yeah.
Who's
Squash
holding my
help us.
hand and holding the inkwell?
Rhal
Who
has the
volunteers?
inkwell, but he's not getting completely submerged. He's very much sitting on the edge. He's not comfortable with completely submerging.
Rhal, the easel's in the center. You need to come to me if you're going to hold it.
Okay, I'm coming.
Okay. Laffian takes Rhal's hand and then with the other goes to the canvas.
Very important. What are you drawing?
I feel like it would have to be something that would be like really strong in his mind that he would be able to like have a clear picture of.
Yeah.
Fuck it. He starts painting Kythea.
Aww.
Aww. As you begin to do these brush strokes across the canvas itself, are you intending a black and white picture? Are you intending coloured?
He's probably experimenting as he's painting, so like he's gonna try focusing and seeing if he can change colors, if the brush itself can change width, things like that.
Absolutely it does. As you think of what should be appearing underneath the paintbrush in that moment, the inks or the paints or whatever it is medium you wish to be using upon here change. The brush changes accordingly, the paints and colours change accordingly, and you create a beautiful portrait of Kythea. Once you have finished your masterpiece, once you kind of do that, and I'm done, step back moment, in the bottom right-hand corner appear two people holding hands, one of them holding a paintbrush and one of them holding an inkwell. Rhal, you suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
The iron gate, the iron door that was here before, if any of you were focusing or looking at it whilst Laffian was intently working on the canvas, it has changed and begun to fill in and became another part of the wall. And as the picture is finished, you see that the picture, all of you see that the picture kind of disappears and reappears on the wall where the door was. You hear a click from behind you, and a portion of the wall slides back and away to reveal another passageway out.
Well, that was interesting. I kind of want one of those for my home. Magical paintbrush, that would be cool. Right, we should get going then. Laffian's like he's like realizing that now it's like on display for everybody to see the painting of Kythea he did. He looks a little red in the face, but
You and Squash both. Squash made Zaltanna sit down in the sand and did nothing. Squash is like...
now Zaltanna just has sand in her armor.
Yep.
That's going to chafe for weeks.
He's probably going to point towards the painting like, hey, look what Laffian did. Don't focus on what I've done. Look what Laffian did.
Oh, really? I wonder who you would have painted, Squash, she says irritably, giving him an eye.
Remember, it's not just
friend
vengeance.
Zaltanna?
I think
I'm
you're going to need a deception roll.
I ain't rolling shit. Everybody knows.
You know it, I know it, everybody knows it.
Everybody knows that Squash is in love with Demi. Come on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
As he looks at his nails.
Can you feel the love tonight?
Okay, so another passageway has opened up. What do you want to do?
We go.
Yeah.
What's in that passageway?
Currently just darkness that seems to lead downwards.
Stairs or slope?
Stairs.
Okay.
As you make your way down, Rhal, as you put your foot forward, you feel like you can't. Your foot is sliding against a wall. Your companions have passed through, but as you put your leg forward to try and walk through this doorway, this gap, it feels like a wall.
Okay, and because Rhal has exhaustion, I imagine he's like the last one out, just kind of like, keeping behind everyone the best he can.
Toe.
Ow!
Okay, well, he starts to panic a little bit and calls out to everyone to hold on.
What happened? What?
Rob kind of like
Well,
does a little punch at the wall in front of him.
Feels like you're punching a wall.
He shakes his hand like he's punched a wall.
For the rest of you, it looks like, like if you push your hand against glass, you kind of get that flattened look.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it looks like from the other side.
Can I grab Rhal by the hand and try pulling him?
As you try and like grab through, you don't feel a wall. You feel no resistance, but as you grab his hand and pull him towards you, it's like his hand is stuck against a wall.
Oh, wait.
You can't pull him through.
Oh,
Yes, exactly that.
What the hell? I mean, what the bellum? Got to clarify.
What in Cicero would be more accurate?
That's weird.
Why is it singling him out?
Maybe because of the inkwell?
I don't have it. I'd put it down. I'm tired. Rhal does look tired. He looks like when he's had an acid attack, not like the pain part of that, but like afterwards how he's just kind of dragging. He looks like that.
Did either one of you have ways to like fix that kind of stuff?
I can. Yeah, I could try to give you a little bit of mental coffee, so to speak.
I mean, that might be what's pulling him down right now, or blocking his entry.
I don't know.
Rhal, do you see a wall, or is it like you can see us?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. I mean, we'll give it a shot. So Lafayette will reach over and give Rhal a boop on the snoot and give him some brain coffee with Restore Vigor. So it would get rid of the exhaustion level.
Yes. You feel somewhat more refreshed, Rhal. Like you feel comfortable. Not like the lingering acid attack pains and just general exhaustion that you feel. You feel much better in yourself.
Yeah, Rhal gives you like that smile of like, oh, I'm comfortable. No, thanks.
Happy time.
Now try coming through.
Do I get through?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
Did we fuck up the riddle?
I mean, there was the last part, the words of the powerful upon the people do toll. I don't... Words of the powerful, like...
Are they talking about... So, in this case, that would be because you are the powerful one, the brain child right now? Upon the people do toll, people would be whoever's holding the inkwell.
I mean, I don't know. I don't understand this part. And Lafayette just like, it looks a little flustered. It's just, verily do I permit thou, Rhal, Jacques Tessarin, permission to join us upon this stairwell.
Sir, Rhal.
The fact that the GM is giggling makes me assume this is not going to work.
Emma told me a story about people who drank blood and you have to let them in, and it scared me and I couldn't sleep for a week.
Vampires, Rhal, vampires.
Yeah.
Amy would know better. She wouldn't tell you that.
No, that's a Bogrim. Bogrim would tell you that story. While
Bogrim would probably tell you that without thinking about it. Lafayette, I would like you to roll a persuasion check, please.
Oh, okay. 9. Luck. Luck point. Fuck you, roll 20. I'm not dealing with your bullshit right now. 24. Thank you.
It doesn't feel like anything has changed, but Rhal, you feel a slight resistance, and then your hand goes through.
Oh. What do you know?
Laughing, like, as he sees you walk through, has, like, a dumbstruck look on his face, like, what the fuck just happened?
Shit, that worked!
Now I feel like a total ass for saying it that way.
Wow. Should have just left me there.
You can stay there if you want, Rhal.
I mean, I can decree differently.
I don't. You missed your chance. Now you're stuck with me.
I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me.
Hi, everyone. Rhal here. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you are enjoying the show. If you'd like to find us on Twitter, you can find us at TLDpod. And you can also email us at theluckydiepodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much to Patreon supporters Rob Saul, Jennifer Moody, Brian Akins, and Guy C. Thanks so much for your support. We really appreciate you. And once again, thank you all so much for listening to our show. Your support over the years has been amazing, and we would not be doing this without you. So thank you so much. we will see you next episode. Until then, bye.
This is a Ninth World Journal. A careless experiment with a teleportation device has left me stranded in random places throughout the Ninth World. While trying to survive in these strange lands, I must find a way to reverse my condition.
A Ninth World Journal is a science fantasy audio drama podcast. Subscribe to listen or visit ninthworldjournal.com.